May Carol Jemison, born the 17th of October 1956, is an American engineer, biologist, and NASA astronaut. She became the first African-American woman in space when she went into orbit aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour on the 12th of September 1992. Mae Jemison applied to NASA's space program in 1983 after being inspired by Sally Ride's mission. She joined NASA in 1987 and was selected as one of 15 candidates chosen from over 2,000 applicants. On the Space Shuttle Endeavour, Jemison worked on bone cell research experiments. She left NASA in 1993 to pursue how social sciences interact with technology, a field she continues in as professor with Cornell University and through several of her own companies. Sally Ride, the 26th of May 1951 to the 23rd of July 2012, was an American astronaut, physicist, and engineer who made history. Born in Los Angeles, Ride joined NASA in 1978. To date, she also remains the youngest American astronaut to have traveled to space, having done so at the age of 32. Furthermore, Ride is the first known LGBT astronaut, and the coding which was instrumental for the Apollo 11 mission and the U.S. moon landing. While Sally Ride was the first American woman in space, she is also known as the first female astronaut in space and was later asked to join NASA to develop the software for the Apollo space program. This is because of the distinction between the different nations' definition of a space traveler: cosmonaut, Soviet, Russian, and astronaut, American. Ride held many prominent positions within academia, such as Cornell University and the University of California. She also started several organizations to promote STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Ride often spoke about the barriers she faced due to her gender. And 3 years later, she had a team of 400 people working alongside her on the software design. NASA engineers at the time developed a makeup kit that could be used in space, assuming this was an essential item for female astronauts such as Ride. Ride passed away in 2012, 17 months after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Kalpana Chawla, the 17th of March 1962 to the 1st of February 2003, was an American astronaut and engineer. She was the first woman of Indian origin to go to space and the second person from India to fly in space. Chawla served in NASA as a mission specialist and robotic arm operator on the Space Shuttle Columbia. The flight launched on the 17th of November 1997, and she remained in space for 15 days and 12 hours. 6 years after her first flight, she took her second trip aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia, which ended in disaster. On the 1st of February 2003, the craft disintegrated on re-entering the Earth's atmosphere, killing all 7 crew members, including Kalpana. With her 2 missions, Kalpana logged over a month in space. On the 16th of June 1963, Soviet cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova became the first woman to travel into space. The launch took place at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in southern Kazakhstan, the spaceport for both Sputnik 1 and Vostok 1, the first human spaceflight. Initially, the flight was planned for several months earlier. However, this flight plan was delayed to carry Valery Bykovsky, a part of a joint mission. After 48 orbits and 71 hours aboard the Vostok 6, Tereshkova piloted her spacecraft back into the Earth's atmosphere and parachuted to Earth, landing in Bayevo, Altai Krai. At the landing site, a statue was erected of Tereshkova, floating on a curved platform as if floating in space. Margaret Heafield Hamilton, born the 17th of August 1936, is an American computer scientist. She is credited with leading the development of the onboard flight software for NASA's Apollo space program, and the coding, which was instrumental for the Apollo 11 mission and the U.S. moon landing. After graduating from Erlan College and Brandeis University in mathematics, Hamilton joined the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in 1960. Here she was employed as one of the designers of an anti-aircraft defense program and was later asked to join NASA to develop the software for the Apollo space program. And 3 years later, she had a team of 400 people working alongside her on the software design. By 1965, Hamilton was placed in command of the in-flight software of the Apollo space program. The expertly designed Apollo software meant that it could perform more tasks than the initial brief requested. The system was composed of thousands of lines of code, identifying and prioritizing various problems and solving them through a set of recovery programs. This was an essential development for ground control and the pilots of the Apollo 11 mission in choosing whether to land or not to land based on the priority alarms. The software proved so successful in the Apollo missions that NASA used the systems in many of their later projects, including the Skylab space station project. Katherine Johnson, the 26th of August 1918 to the 24th of February 2020, was an African-American mathematician. Her calculations influenced every major NASA space program. In 1961, she calculated the launch window flight path for Alan Shepard, the first American in space. She was also instrumental in plotting the trajectories for John Glenn, the first American in orbit. Her computations were also essential in understanding the timing for launches, including Apollo 11's mission to the moon, first woman on the moon. In October 2019, NASA revealed the two spacesuits that the first woman to walk on the moon would wear. 1. A white and blue spacesuit is to be worn on the lunar surface itself. It has been designed to be flexible to allow astronauts to move easily on the moon. The second, an orange pressure suit, will be worn by astronauts when launched into space in the Orion capsule and on their return to Earth. NASA astronauts Christina Koch and Jessica Meir conducted the first all-female spacewalk on Friday, the 18th of October 2019. While women have been performing spacewalks since the 1980s, this was the first time that an all-female crew had performed the operation. The mission included repairing a faulty power unit on the International Space Station. First operational crewed SpaceX flight to the ISS. In March 2020, NASA announced that it had assigned Shannon Walker to the first operational crewed flight of the SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft on a mission to the International Space Station. Walker will join fellow astronauts Michael Hopkins and Victor Glover Jr. from NASA and Soichi Noguchi from the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency on a 6-month expedition aboard the ISS. Walker previously spent 163 days as a flight engineer on the ISS in 2010.